Hello everyone. Okay, so massive technical malfunctions first time around. I'm going to start this again from the very beginning for the benefit of all those catching the replay. So hello everyone, thank you for joining me, thank you for persevering if you have tried to jump on the original live stream that I started. I'm here to talk to you today about tarot. It's one of the subjects that is closest to my heart in the whole wide world, and I wanted to share some information about that with you. Hello everyone, thank you so much for jumping back on. So huge technical malfunctions with my laptop. It is still frozen, and so I've decided to jump on and use my phone instead, so more in my comfort zone as well. So I'm not going to be able to do what I was hoping to do with some pictures in the comments, but we can work our way around that. So blessings everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you're here, say hello. If you're catching the replay, let me know in the comments as well that you're catching the replay, and let me know where in the world that you're tuning in from. So here today to talk about tarot, one of the subjects that is closest to my heart, as I said, in the whole wide world. I could talk about this for hours and hours on end. So my plan is to do this weekly and start from the very beginning, go back to the very basics, and give you guys some tools and things that you can work with throughout these weeks, perhaps that we are at home, so you can both do readings for yourself and perhaps others as well. So hello Anna, hello Binky, hello Mandy, hello Julie, hello Elliot, thank you so much for being here. So please put your questions in the comments below. I want to make sure that we get to all of those. I have got a couple of questions written down that people have already popped in the comments of the post that I had leading up to this live. So if you have any questions, no matter how basic, no matter how silly you may think that they sound, just chuck them in and I promise we'll get round to doing them as well, okay? So I also wanted to give you guys a chance to practice as well, and so I'm going to perhaps put an idea to you that may be a way that you can practice on one another in the group. Hello Della, thank you so much for being here, lovely. So yeah, so first and foremost, this is intuitive tarot reading that I teach, okay? And so intuitive tarot reading is tapping into your innate natural psychic abilities, spiritual senses, your own intuition to read the cards that way, okay? We are all spiritual beings here having a physical experience, and that line, if you like, that telephone line, that connection to the divine, it never ceases, it's never severed. We always have this connection in our ability to tap into the collective consciousness, to spirit, to source, to get answers, to get wisdom. And tarot is a really great tool for focusing our intention and focusing our awareness so we can receive this communication. Now, some of us are more open, the channels are more open in some people than others. It depends on, your previous lives, the life path that you've chosen in this life. Your numerology plays a huge part in that. Also our upbringing and what we are told is possible, and what we believe that we are, what we believe ourselves to be. But we all have this ability to tap in to source, to spirit, to the universe, to receive information. And so one thing that tarot cards and oracle cards, there are some differences, but you can use this method for reading oracle cards as well. What it does is it allows you to create coincidence, it allows you to create synchronicities which you can interpret. It presents you with a set of symbols that you can look at to glean insight into a situation that is around a person, okay? Now, from my personal point of view, from my personal perspective, it's not fortune telling, okay? It's not predicting the future, but it's talking about likely outcomes, potential outcomes. We all have free will, we all have freedom of choice, and we all have the ability to change our own path and to change things that are happening in our lives. It's down to the actions that we take. Tarot and spirit and and, you know, whatever other forms of divination and spiritual connection and communication you use. It's all about making the unknown known, making the subconscious conscious. So it's about bringing things to your awareness. Okay, now I always set the intention that the communication that comes through is to inspire, uplift, and empower the people that I'm reading for. Okay, so, you know, it's not about predicting the future, as I said, but it's about making you aware of what you need to work on, what you need to focus on, or perhaps what you need to work on letting go of to help you move forward in your life. But obviously everyone's got different intentions and works with it in different ways. Okay, but it is just a misconception that people often have, is that tarot is it's dangerous because it's like opening a channel. You know, it's not like using a Ouija board, okay, which can be very dangerous. But what it is, it's literally, like I said, just creating coincidences. It is, you know, allowing you to use this this large group of symbols for you to interpret. So it's a tool. It's just a tool to receive communication from the universe. Okay, so let me just see. Some people have jumped on. Yes, take care. You too, Darren, you too. Oh, hello. Right, so much love to you both. Thank you so much for being here. Julie, can you explain the difference between tarot cards and oracle cards, please? Thank you. Yes, of course I can. Of course I can. I hope you're all very well, by the way, everybody. I hope you're feeling well. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you all on here. Okay, so yes, I can. It's a very good question. Hello, Lee, my darling. Thank you for being here. Very, very good question. So Julie has asked, what is the difference between tarot cards and oracle cards? And there is a fair bit of difference, but they can be used and are used in the exact same way. Okay, so tarot cards. Tarot cards are a set of cards made up of, they're divided into two categories, okay? They are the major arcana and the minor arcana. Now, the minor arcana are the four suits. So you have swords, wands, cups, and pentacles. That's just the kind of the basic ones. And then you have the major arcana, which are a set of characters, okay? Now, to be classed as a tarot deck, they have to have this basic structure. Or, like, all tarot decks are based on the Rider-Waite, which a lot of you may have. That's a very traditional deck. They are all based on that story. Okay, and the tarot deck, it is a story from beginning to end. It starts at the beginning at the Fool and travels all the way through all the cards, and through traveling through this story is a full reflection of all the possible scenarios, situations, circumstances that you can find yourself in this physical world, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Every possible experience of the human remit, if you like, is in the tarot deck. It's a very full, very broad imagery, okay, and symbolism in that. So it's very hard hitting. It's very ruthless to the bone. It calls you out on your crap. Yeah, you know, if there's things in life that you don't want to face, things that you're trying to repress and not deal with, or things perhaps that you're not aware of, the tarot will come in holding nothing back and call you out on that, which is sometimes why people don't favour them so much, because there's nowhere to hide with the tarot. It calls it out exactly as it is. Okay, whereas with oracle cards tend to have more of a focus, of a theme, so a bit less ruthless, sometimes a bit less hard hitting, and they can be very nurturing, very comforting, you know, focus on a specific type of spiritual work, perhaps focusing on a particular spiritual pathway, and they can be more, you know, working on positive affirmations, making you feel good, you know, working on reassuring you. Not that they're not useful and beneficial, because they absolutely are. For example, you can have angel cards where they focus on the different angels that can work with you, the different ways angels can come in and work with you. You can You know, you can have, you know, fairy oracle cards, you can have, you know, all kinds of things. I'm actually in the process of creating a deck of my own, which are more of an oracle deck than they are a tarot deck. Well, they're definitely more of an oracle deck than they are a tarot deck, working on holistic healing and aspects of your spiritual path and personal development and holistic well-being in that regard. So what you need to work on, what you need to release, where these issues are coming from in your life, that kind of thing. Whereas, you know, again, going back to tarot will very much telling you what the issue is and how to work through it depending on what questions you ask. So I hope that answers your question for you. Does that answer, Julie? And is there anything anyone thinks that I've left out of that? There probably is. And because as usual, I haven't made any notes. I'm just riffing here and sharing my knowledge with you. So a couple of things may pop through. Julie says, wow, would love to have your oracle deck. Well, thank you. It is far from being finished. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 years, to be honest with you, to get to the end, especially because this year I've vowed and promised myself that I was going to get my book finished, because I'm writing a book as well. So that the intention is to get my book finished this year, then focus on the oracle deck next year. Thank you, Delith. That's so kind of you. Hello, Claire. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you, Binky. Yes, thank you. That's good. I'm glad that's answered that question for you. Okay. So, that's the major differences between tarot and oracle. But the techniques that I'm going to teach you today about intuitive reading, you know, these are things that you can, you know, use across all forms of divination, and not just cards. And there's, you know, there is so many different types of things. That's a video for another day. Again, I could go off into a tangent there completely. Okay, so that's the main thing. Now, selecting a deck, obviously, you know, we're not able to go out at the moment to go shopping for decks, but you know, there's a lot of dogma around, you know, don't pick your own deck. It's really unlucky. You have to have them gifted to you. You know, as far as I'm concerned, that's not the case at all. And, you know, in order to find a deck that you really love, that really resonates with you, you know, you need to get them yourself. You can't rely on someone to be intuitively inspired to get the deck that is right for you, because, you know, there are so many different tarot decks out there these days, and some that are extraordinarily beautiful. As some of you know who have come to my real life tea and tarot classes, you know that I've got a huge collection of tarot cards, and I tend to geek out a little bit about certain artists and certain creatives, certain decks, and you know, I love tarot dearly. So you know, see what you're inspired with, see what you're guided to. Now, I just usually just put this out and get the universe to send me the cards that I need. You know, they'll pop up on an advert on Facebook, or, you know, they'll come up on eBay, or, you know, wherever it is you're looking. If you put it out to the universe that you're looking for the perfect deck, it will pop into your consciousness. It will pop into your life somehow. Okay. Now, obviously, you know, we're talking about today, you know, working with cards that we already have. You know, if you haven't, I have actually got a few decks for sale. The deck that I'm going to be showing you today, I have got some for sale. So, you know, hopefully we can go out to the post office. If anyone wanted to purchase some, I'd be more than happy to organise that for you as well. So what I tend to recommend when people are looking for tarot cards, you know, if you did want to have a little look and see, you know, see for yourself, I would say go for ones with lots of colour, go for ones that pop, the ones that really catch your eye, ones that are not just the basic Rider-Waite. Controversially, some people say the Rider-Waite are the best ones to start with, but I say go for ones that have got a lot of different symbols in, a lot of different things for you to look at, to work with when you are using your intuition to read the cards. So, for example, let me see if I can find one here that I could use as an example. Now, I'm going to use this one because it's so beautiful. This is the one that actually came up for someone in class last week, and I think it's probably relevant to a lot of us right now. We're all hermiting. So this card, for example, I don't know if you can see if it's in focus. So so this is the Hermit, or the Cosmic Tarot's interpretation of the Hermit. Now in here, there's loads of different symbols that you can work with, okay? So yes, he's got his light, which is pretty standard in all the Hermit cards. He's also got astrological symbols on his clothes. You've got the symbol of the full moon, the 6-pointed star. You've got the number at the top of the card. You've also got the colours to work with, the pictures of the flowers to work with. He's even got an Om symbol here. You know, you can look at his facial expression, what's in the background. Look, there's mountains in the background, things in the foreground, and there's little animals as well. So you want to be able to pick cards that have got a lot of imagery that can catch your eye, that can draw you in, for you to be able to start delivering the message, or to start breaking down the symbols within the cards to express what it is that means. So let me just go back and see what the comments are saying. Julie says, I did not get with the original Rider-Waite deck, but I really got on with the Angel Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. I have some of those as well. The Angel Tarot cards by Radley Valentine, any deck by Radley Valentine, to be perfectly honest with you, is absolutely stunning. Someone I love very much is Radley Valentine. Claire says, I love my Mystic Fairy Tarot cards by Linda Ravenscroft. Again, very, very beautiful cards. Go with what you're drawn to, what you have a natural affinity with. It could be fairies, it could be angels. Hello, Philip. It was your card, Elliot. That's right. Hello, Kerry, darling. So go with what you're drawn to when it comes to selecting your decks and things like that, okay? As I said, there's something for everyone. Now, I think, you know, one of the reasons people are very put off by tarot is because some of the cards are very scary, and I've talked about this in my classes before. You know, at the time when tarot cards, the original Rider-Waite tarot deck, which, as I've said, all the other modern decks are based upon, when they were originally created, they needed, you know, people didn't have the experience, the visual experience of the world, of other cultures. It was a very, very different life for people, and so, you know, they needed the scary looking cards to have these things to be brought to their awareness, for them to take things seriously, for them to understand symbolically what was going on in their life. You know, the scary cards, you know, for example, I like the Death card, the Hanged Man, the Tower, you know, and a lot of the Sword cards as well. They are quite dark and negative in their imagery generally, and they can be quite off-putting and quite scary for people, and that's why I think a lot of people now have started to kind of soften the cards, make more modern adaptations. One of my favourite decks actually I have here is the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. Any deck by her is stunning. She's a legend, but these cards are absolutely beautiful, and they're called the Good Tarot because they've deliberately taken a lot of that scary imagery out of it, so it becomes more about actually what's in the internal world, and you know, what good things that we have achieved from experiencing these negative situations and what have you, rather than pointing out the negative situation by making it look quite scary. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that's why, you know, there are all these new modern adaptations and different ones that, you know, that people have created to soften them, make them less scary, more palatable. I think a lot of people that have come to my classes, I know Julie, you for one used to have a bit of a block and a bit of a fear around the imagery, and I know other people that have come to my classes have said the same thing. Another lady I know, Julie Parker, she's not here today, but I know herself, she had a few blocks and fears associated with the tarot, and you know, and this can be past life stuff, past life trauma that we're bringing through. You know, a lot of us have experienced persecution for our witchy ways, and, you know, very seriously so. Some of our past lives have probably ended as a result of embracing our mysticism, our natural clairvoyance, our natural, you know, psychic abilities, our natural healing abilities, and our connection and our draw to these tools. You know, we were judged, we were ostracized and persecuted for it. So I think a lot of people, you know, we have got to overcome this fear in order to really, you know, begin to embrace that path. Now, first and foremost, I think tarot, when used as a tool for the self, so what I mean by that is for your own personal journey, your own spiritual development journey, healing journey, personal development, self-mastery, personal growth. You know, this tool, when used by the self for the self, it is one of the most transformational things that you can do in your life, because it helps on that journey to know thyself. You know, that old Hermetic principle, it was carved on the walls above the doors at Delphi, where the oracles at Delphi worked, prayed, practiced for thousands of years, you know, in ancient Greece. You know, the oracles there, you know, the first rule, know thyself, know everything about yourself, clean out those corners of your soul, know who you are deep inside, know what you need to let go of in order to raise your vibration and rise higher and align with your birthright, who you're born to be, and to help you through difficult times, to help you through trauma, to help you overcome, to help you find out what you need to focus on to become the best version of yourself, to make perhaps the best use of this time that we find ourselves in isolation, perhaps to you know, to best relate to others if you're having difficulty with the people that you're in isolation with, just using this current situation as an example. You know, it can tell you what to focus on, what to let go of, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's really, really powerful tool. For me, it was a tool I used through my darkest times, through my difficult times, you know, but also in my brightest times, my lightest times. You know, how can I better connect with my spirit guides? How can I better embrace my spiritual pathway and all of that kind of stuff? You know, the kind of questions that you ask your cards are really, really important. And it's not about focusing on, should I do this? Should I do that? But it's, would it be for my greatest good to, you know, what would be of most benefit to me? What would be of most benefit to the world for me to focus on? That kind of thing, rather than should I do this? Should I do that? And, you know, personally, obviously, you know, it's a moral issue. Everyone's different. I personally won't read cards for other people unless they have their permission. So I wouldn't start pulling cards about someone else unless they'd requested a reading from me, because I'm just not about that life. Some people do. But personally, I think that's interfering with other people's energies. That is not your, it's not your business. It's not your business. So that's just a personal thing of mine. But you know, each to their own. Okay, I'm not gonna judge anyone for that. Oh, Della, I love them. I think you're on about the good tarot. Yes, they are really, really stunning. They're really beautiful. I'll get them out and show them. So Binky says, I have the Guardian Angel Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. Yep. Got them at Dawn's Healing Light the other week. They're beautiful, also less of the scary. Yes, absolutely. And Radley Valentine is about less of the scary, and his cards are absolutely fantastic. He has written a really good book, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called. But it's all about different magical tools. So he goes into all the different divination systems and all different things like that. And he, you know, talks about each different one. It's really, really interesting. If any of you have Gaia, the streaming website, I keep forgetting what it's called, Gaia.com. If anyone's got a subscription to that, there's a really great interview with Radley Valentine on the Open Mind series with Regina Meredith. Really worth watching. Fascinating guy. Beautiful soul. And he talks a lot about the different types of tarot, different types of divination systems. Very, very much worth looking into. Yes, they are so deep. So these are, let me show you the Empress, because this has come out. So this is from the Good Tarot. So now these are a little bit more difficult to read, I think, if you haven't got an existing kind of vocabulary of symbols, which we'll talk about in a minute. But there are things that you can focus on and look at and read between the lines, as it were, with these cards. Hi Robin, how are you, lovely? I hope that you're well. Thank you so much for jumping on. It's really, really lovely to have you here. So yeah, we've talked a little bit about the decks. We've answered a couple of questions about choosing decks and what have you. So if anyone else has got any questions, do jump in. Now, let's go back to basics. I want to jump ahead and start talking about symbols and expanding your spiritual and symbolic thesaurus, if you like. And I'll do that, and then I'll take it back to the beginning, because if I don't say it now, I'll forget. So what, you know, the spirit will work with you within your realm of symbolic understanding, okay? And obviously the more the different languages of symbols that you know, let's say, the more symbols you know about, the deeper the cards go, the more complex they become, because there are layers and layers of symbols in each card, okay? So whether you're working on just understanding what the different suits are, what the different card original meanings are, that's one layer. And then you can be drawn to the colours, that's another layer. So colours mean lots of different things, whether they're, if you know about the colours of the aura and what they mean, if you know about the different chakras, what they mean, even if you just have a simple understanding of perhaps, you know, well, yellow makes me feel happy and red makes me think of passion, and the phrase red rag to the bull, which, you know, can mean angry, or you know, people say green with envy or what have you. So even if it's just on that level, if you're drawn to the colours and they're the things that pop into your mind, you can work with colours on that level. For me, I tend to work with the chakras and the colours of the chakras and their associations and what they may mean. So if a colour stands out to me in a card, for example, if it's a red cloak, so it would be like, right, the person in the card is wearing a red cloak, which means that you need strength right now. So Spirit are bringing strength in, because red is about strength, about security, and all of that kind of stuff, because that's associations with the root chakra, which is red. So I hope that makes sense, okay? So you can work with that. Like, as I already said, there's the astrological symbol. So if astrological symbols stand out to you, it could be that it's reflective of a time of year. It could be you could perhaps, you know, need to take on more of the traits of that star sign. So for example, if there's a symbol for Leo, you know, if there's a lion in the card or the symbol for Leo in the card, perhaps you know, you need to behave a bit more confidently. You need to believe in yourself a little bit more. You need to put yourself out there a little bit more and act more like a Leo would, perhaps. Or it could be that there's someone in your life that is of that star sign that is relevant to the situation. So if that stands out to you, you know, look at that. You know, there's this, you know, things like the sun and the moon. So obviously, again, they have their own meanings that we already have like an existing understanding of. You can look at facial expressions and all kinds of stuff like that. Flowers, different flowers have different meanings. So whatever you already have an awareness of, work with that. My background, as a lot of you know, is holistic and complementary therapies, hence holistic Holly, right? So for me, a lot of it is to do with the chakras, a lot of it is to do with holistic healing and wellness, because it is about improving people's well-being at the end of the day. All of this is about helping people to be their happiest, truest self, let go of what's holding them back. So that's what tends to come through symbolically with me. Songs, I love music, so songs tend to come into my head. Often things will remind me, I'm a big movie buff, right? So often scenes from films can start playing out, because when you start focusing on a card, sometimes that's when your third eye will boot up and start turning on. So you can use the card and start looking at the card as a focal point, but actually what I say is like turn on the third eye screen, the projector screen in your mind. So you can either, you know, close your eyes and hold the image of the tarot card within your mind's eye, so then it starts moving like a video and unfolding in that way. Or you can perhaps you know, just be open to looking at the cards, seeing what's coming into your mind's eye. If there's you know, if there's something in it that reminds you of a certain this or certain that, you know, it's all relevant. You know, I always say, you know, working intuitively, you have to say what you see. You have to focus on what jumps out to you. You have to focus on what feelings are arising in your body, whatever is coming to the forefront of your mind to share, because it's coming to you for a reason. Until you start giving what you're getting, if you are reading for someone else, Spirit don't know that you are receiving. So you need to start talking, start writing, whatever it is that you're doing, for them to acknowledge that you've started to understand, for them to unfold and give you more. I hope that makes sense. So that's just a little bit about the symbolism and reading intuitively and stuff. Now, I had a couple of questions that I'm going to go back to now, because this is, you know, I'm rushing on ahead here. You know, we're meant to be talking basics for beginners before we go off into those other subjects, okay? So, Binky sent me some questions in the comments, so thank you for that, Binky. So where to pick the cards from? So, get your deck. You don't have to do this along with me if you don't want to. So, you know, it helps if you know, sit with the cards, hold the cards to get your vibration on them. If they're a new deck, perhaps putting them on your altar, put some crystals around them, perhaps just sitting and meditating with them. Some people recommend, you know, sleeping with them under your pillow to get your energies and things into those cards. And that's, you know, that's really great too. Different things for different people. The ultimate thing is that you treat them with respect, okay? And offer, you know, say thank you, offer them gratitude when you're done with working with them, because, you know, they are a magical tool and they do deserve to be respected and honored, okay? So, you know, everyone works in different ways with the cards. The question that I had from Binky was where to pick the cards from. So do you take them from the top? Do you take them from the middle? Do you spread them out and just take them, you know, where do you take the cards from? And this is a very, very personal thing. Again, use your intuition on this. And with everything about the tarot, it's all about trusting your own intuition, okay? And doing what feels right for you, not second guessing yourself, not overthinking anything. This is about connecting with the flow of the universe. Okay, that's what this is about. So you mustn't overanalyze, you mustn't overthink. So just shuffle what you can. Opening yours now for the first time. And you have this deck, Elliot, because you got these from me. Now, these are the Cosmic Tarot. And these are actually the cards that my mentor, who helped me at the beginning of my mediumship journey for many years, these are the cards that he had. These aren't his personal deck, but these are the deck that he used. So I have a lot of love for this deck, and I think they're really, really beautiful for beginners to use. So, Cosmic Tarot. So shuffle the cards. Now, if you want to cut them, some people like to take the cards from the top. Some people like to just cut them, take the cards, like, I'll put them down here. Some people just like to cut them, take them from the middle. Personally, I like to, it's hard to do because I haven't really got a table. I've just got, let me see if I can move this back a bit. So, personally, I like to spread the cards out. I don't know if you can see, spread the cards out and then just see which one stands out to me. Some people like to hold their hands over the top. Sometimes you can feel like a warmth or a tingling. There's no right or wrong here. Just don't second guess. Now, sometimes the thing is when we're choosing cards for ourselves, we can pick and go, oh no, I don't want that one, and put it back in and shuffle them again. And sometimes the same cards will pop out again and again and again because the cards choose you, right? It's like Harry Potter. The wand chooses the wizard. The cards choose you. They know which cards you need, right, at the time. It's very, very relevant, very, very relevant if cards jump out. Okay, if cards jump out, they are the ones that want to be picked. So put those to one side always, okay? I'm just going to have a drink a minute because my throat's getting a bit dry. So, right. You're welcome, Robin. Elliot opening his for the first time. New deck, Cosmic Tarot. Cosmic Tarot, who's the author? Right, off the top of my head, I don't know. Elliot, have you got the box there? Elliot, can you answer Julie's question? Who's the author? I'm not sure if there is a specific author. I think it says the name of the publishers on there. But yeah, but these are those. So you may have seen these because I've talked with these before, Julie. So these ones, they all kind of they look like famous people, a lot of the characters in the cards. There's a guy in here that definitely looks like Sean Connery. There's a lady in here that definitely looks like Isabella Rossellini. But they are very, very beautiful cards. Really, really colourful. Oh, there's the Hermit again. You know, they've got a lot of imagery that you can look at and tap into. Lots of colours to focus on and what have you. Norbert Losch, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Elliot. Sweet, sweet Elliot. So yeah, so pick them from wherever in the deck that you want to, okay? So I'm going to pick this one, okay. And there's so many layers that you, so always go with what stands out to you first of all. Okay, what catches your eye first. Okay, so whether it's a color, whether it's the person in the card, whether it's the background, whether it's the foreground, and just start looking layer by layer what catches your eye. Okay, now what I always say to people, if you're reading for yourself, get your pen and paper, get a journal or something next to you. You know, if you have a specific question that you're focusing on, write the question first, and then look at the cards as if you were reading for someone else, if you like. Don't go, you know, I always say to people, don't look at the book. Not, you know, I mean, you can after you've exhausted your own intuitive reading, okay? Because yes, looking at the book, it helps you build up that understanding of symbols. It helps you build up that that vocabulary of symbols, but it can throw you off. I mean, a lot of you guys who are here right now have no doubt seen my reading of the week videos, and they are all based on one card. They only stay at 10 minutes because I need them to be on 10 minutes to be able to upload them to my Instagram, okay? But I could go on and on and on. I could literally talk for half an hour about one card. So you know, there is so much symbolism. There's so much that you can work with. There's so much you can be inspired about with one card, and that can't be condensed down into the page or 2 pages or whatever it is that is in the guidebook that comes with it. So if you are reading intuitively and feeling like, oh, this feels so right, I feel like I'm getting this, I feel like I'm picking up this, you know, these words seem to be flowing from I don't know where. I mean, like I said, you don't need to necessarily be visual. Some people feel more than they see, or hear more than they see or feel, and that's fine. There's no right or wrong. We all have different strengths when it comes to our natural spiritual abilities. But if you feel like, wow, yeah, I'm really feeling this. This feels right. I'm drawn to this. I'm drawn to that, and you look at it all, and then you look in the book, the tiny little book that comes with the cards, and it doesn't say what you've intuitively felt, you're going to really you know, you're going to lose confidence, and you're not going to believe and trust yourself when you pick things up. So yes, there is the conventional meaning for each card, but that is so restricted and so narrowed down. It's only ever to point you in the right direction. Okay, so yeah. So Elliot says, I just pulled the card with the author's name on it and stuff about him. That's so funny. That's so funny. So yeah. So go with the different things you're drawn to, see how that makes you feel, and you know, write about it, write it down, and that's a really good way of helping you flow, the creative flow. Building creativity is so important here. So being creative, creating art, painting, all of that kind of stuff, it will all help with your tarot reading, believe it or not, because it helps with that relationship with your creative mind and your logical mind. We need to strengthen our creative mind in order for us to be able to vocalize and articulate what we are picking up through symbols and pictures. The hardest thing about tarot reading is articulating the symbols into words that are relevant for the person at that time. Okay, does that make sense? Can you give me some hearts or some thumbs up, or let me know in the comments if I'm making sense? Okay, 2 of Cups. I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot deck. Beautiful, beautiful. So what I want you to do later, guys, is to share a picture in the comments of the card that you have pulled, and if you and I want you to then, you know, have a practice with each other. So if you post a picture in the comments of the cards that you've pulled, I want people to practice reading that card for each other. So if you post one, I want you to at least look at 3 different cards of other people's to see what jumps out at you, to help give them a communication. I want this to be a group where we give and take, okay? So if people are posting, if you're posting, I want you to look at least 3 other people's cards, even if it's just one thing that jumps out. But I want us to have a little bit of readings and things going on in the comments for each other, which I will come and, you know, help with after I get off the live. Okay, so Elliot pulled the 2 of Wands, so it might be helpful now for me to talk to talk a little bit about what the different suits mean. Okay, now this is just a rule of thumb. Again, this is not something that I have learned from books. I haven't learned tarot from books. Now, this may be something that I should have said at the beginning. So the way I learned tarot, I literally got a deck, sat in a circle of people that were developing as mediums in a mediumship circle, and gave cards out. And I looked at the cards and see what spirit was showing me in relation to the cards, and then I started to deliver communication to the people that the card was picked for. So that's how I learned. That's how I developed my tarot reading abilities, was fully through immersion of working with my spirit guides. That's how I learned. But some people, you know, learn the other way, where they study in books what all the symbols mean before they actually start practicing. I don't think there's any right or wrong way, but this is just what I'm saying. So even there's you know, sometimes in my own classes that I run, people come in and they say they've learned from the book, and they teach me things that I wasn't aware of about the tarot. So this is what I can just tell you, my rule of thumb that I've learned. Okay, so wands are to do with our journey. Okay, our passage through life, our life pathway, or a journey through a situation, our growth, our development. Okay, so that's what wands are associated with. Swords are to do with our thoughts, what we think about, what we focus on, what we allow to take up time in our minds and in our thoughts. So that's swords. Okay, they are double-edged. They can be both good and bad. They can be defense as well as attack, right? So that's the swords. Then we have cups, which are to do with our emotions, of relationships, and how we feel through life and in certain situations that we find ourselves in. So that's cups. And then we have pentacles, sometimes coins. Now they are to do with the material world, the physical world, the physical aspects of our life. So some people say it's to do with like material wealth. For me, wealth is not about financial abundance. It's to do with, you know, fulfillment, joy, happiness, and all of that kind of stuff. But whatever resonates with you, you know, these are all just rules of thumb. If you get a card, but actually it's not the ones that stand out, it's the foreground, it's the background, it's the characters in the card, if that stands out to you, then the wands or the swords, whatever, it's irrelevant. It's all about, you know, working with you where you are. Spirit will meet you, the symbols will meet you exactly where you are, and that's how you are be able to deliver communication through that card. There's no right or wrong, or I don't know enough so I can't do it. You can read someone's facial expression, you can read someone's body language, you can see if there's mountains in the background or there's mountains behind you. You've climbed mountains to get to where you are today, or if there's, you know, if there's leaves and things in the foreground growing, or there's a lot of growth going on around you. You know, you don't need to have an extensive knowledge of symbols to be able to read tarot. And I think that's something else that puts people off, because it is such a broad spectrum of symbols. You know, like I said, you've got the major arcana, you've got the minor, the pip cards, which are the 4 suits. And people say, oh, there's too much to learn and I can't do it. Let me know if this has been you in the past. Let me know if it's you. There's too many symbols, I can't learn it, and it's not about that at all. It's about learning how to break symbols down in a way that you can communicate them. And when you can do that, you can work with spirit in so many other ways. You can look at anything symbolically once you know how to intuitively look at symbols to be able to present information. Okay, now these suits, they have different correspondences as well with different elements, and again, it's layers and layers and layers and layers. Okay, so it's completely how far down this rabbit hole of symbols you want to go, but you don't need that much symbolic knowledge to be able to do this. Okay, so Michelle, you don't have any cards yet. That's not a problem. Lovely, that's not a problem. So Julie says she got the 5 of air. This is 5 of wands. 5 of air, I believe air is swords. Yes, air is swords. Air is swords, yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm shuffling around a bit. I'm getting a bit uncomfortable. I'm sitting on my bed. My children are downstairs playing in the garden, and it would have been way too noisy, and they would have been trying to get all in the camera and playing with Mummy's magic cards, as we call them. So I needed to come upstairs to the bedroom to do this today. Okay, Julie. has said, yes, I felt there was far too much to learn, so I have kept away from tarot. Now I understand what tarot is all about and loving it. Good, good. Binky says, I pulled the Seven of Thought. The minor arcana in my deck have been replaced. So wands equals action, cups equals emotion, sword equals thoughts, coins equals abundance. Okay, lovely. Again, you know, use all these modern interpretations, but it's all going back. You know, you can see the correspondences, but it's all going back to that basic Rider-Waite format of the major cards and the four suits. Okay, and you know, yeah, some people don't like reading the major cards, some people don't like reading cards reverse, which is another question we're going to look at in a minute. Someone asked, can you read my card today online? Possibly. We'll see what we come back to. But everyone, we're all going to have a go at reading each other's in the comments after this is finished. But yes, I can possibly. Right. So, Binky also asked about distance readings. Obviously, in the climate, we're not allowed to get together at the moment. But actually, the majority of readings I do are at a distance, okay? And so, you know, you don't necessarily need to be with a person in order to get the communication for them. You know, a person doesn't have to shuffle the cards for you. You don't have to have that connection in order to get the intention there, okay? Now, we are all connected, okay? Without going too far into the spiritual explanations of why we are all one, why we are all connected through the collective consciousness, you know, but there's this web. We are all connected. Distance is an illusion. The fact that we are separate is a complete illusion. We are the soul of source experiencing itself in multiple physical beings, but we are not separate from each other. Distance is irrelevant. So if you set the intention and you have that energetic exchange, that someone, and it works exactly the same way as when you do, you know, distance healing, sending Reiki, sending spiritual healing, whatever. Once that connection is there and that intention is there, that connection is made already. Now, you know, if you are working with source, with spirit guides, with inspirers, once you've decided, well, I'm going to do a reading for this person, their team of inspirers, their team of guides, their teams of ancestors and loved ones, you know, they're constantly trying to find a way of getting communication through to people, okay? So once that connection is made, going, well, I'm going to do a reading for you. For example, like part of my method is when I sit down to open up, you know, I call my spirit team forward and I say, look, this person that I'm reading for, if anyone from their team wants to step forward in order to give them, you know, inspiration, upliftment, empowerment, guidance, whatever, now's the time to do it. So I send my teammates to go and get their teammates to come and help with the communication itself. That's just my method. But as long as the intention there, that energetic connection is there, that link is there, you don't need the person in front of you, because the cards are intended for that person. They're going to come out for that person. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, people. So you don't need to be in direct physical contact with someone. And I think some of the best readings I've ever done have been done as recordings that I have sent across to people as an MP3. And the feedback I get off people is just bizarre. Like, people just send me these really long emails with feedback about how spot on I've been about getting the information through, about how things are relevant. Because again, the tarot is a focal point. Once you connect with spirit and say, look, I want to receive information here from you guys today. I'm here to get communication to help someone else or to help myself on my journey. They won't just use the symbols of the cards. They're going to start being like, right, whoa, he or she is open, they're ready to receive. Let's give them as much information as we can. So they're not necessarily just going to stick with the cards. They're going to start using your other spiritual senses to communicate with you. So that's when things start to come in. So when I was saying earlier how I used to use the cards in my mediumship circle and hand the cards out and start using that for the clairvoyance to start coming in. Because when you start looking at the cards and going, right, I'm trying to get a message, I'm trying to get a communication, that's when they can start bringing the song lyrics, the other pictures, the, you know, the sensations of people drawing close. That's when all that will start coming in, because you're focusing your attention. And by focusing your attention, you're getting out of your own way. The conscious mind, the busy conscious mind that's, you know, shopping lists and worrying about what's going on out in the world and this, that and the other, when you sit down and focus your attention on something, all of that moves out the way. Your own opinions, your own ideas, all of that moves out the way in order for you to be able to give the communication from the universe, give that inspired communication to help that person that you're reading for. So that's another reason why it's such an incredible gift, an incredible tool, because we all find it so hard to shut our minds up and get out of the way. You know, when we're sitting down praying and asking for communication from our spirit guides and what have you, you know, we often don't hear the answers and the responses because our mind is so busy. So this is a great focal point to help shut the mind chatter down, to help you become open and perceptive to actually the communication that's already there, that's already trying to come through. So Julie says, yes, I imagine a triangle. I connect my energy with my client and their guides, spirits, and connecting with mine. Yes, fantastic. I actually use the expression opening the triangle when I connect with my guides to give communication. So I love that, opening the triangle, the energy between you, the person you're reading for, and spirit up in the heavens. It's a triangle. Teresa, hello my darling. Just found my Celtic Wisdom Tarot. Haven't used it for years. Well, perhaps this is the time to start using it. These things get into our attention. They come back to us when they are needed. And this might be a really great time for you to really start cultivating that connection again. So I hope that's answered the questions for you, Bink. And there was one more question that she asked. Do you need to cleanse the cards after each use? No, absolutely not. I don't think that's true. People may think that's controversial and may think differently. I don't think you need to cleanse the cards each time unless, you know, it's been a really heavy, difficult reading. You know, some people give the cards a little knock to kind of disperse the energy. Maybe some people like to put them in a singing bowl or play chimes around them or smudge them or whatever. You can do that. Personally, I don't. But you can do. It's all about, you know, what works for you, what feels right for you. Again, it's trusting your intuition. I can't tell you what's right or wrong. It's your practice. It's different for everybody. But what I will say is about doing things safely, about being discerning. So, just being aware that, you know, when you do start to open up and become, you know, more receptive to spirit and to the energies of the universe, you know, that where there's light, there's dark. So what I'm going to say is just make sure that you're consciously asking for protection when you do open up, when you're reaching out. Ask that only those that come in love, that want to assist you with truth and sincerity, for example, can come through to give communication with you, because there are some mischievous energies out there that sometimes like to come and play tricks with us, okay? So just be aware of that as well. So does anyone else have any other questions that they would like to ask? Does anyone else have any? Yes, remembering to ground and protect yourself. That's really, really important. Grounding is really, really beneficial. Oh, I'm so glad, Binky. So grounding is very important. Cleansing your energy afterwards, making sure that you are not walking around like a big satellite dish for everyone else's energies, right? So, you know, once you're finished, as I said, say gratitude to the cards, to your spirit team for drawing close to you, and to just bring your energies within yourself. We can talk more about that another time, but more than happy to talk you through that another time as well. Let me just get my coffee. How long have we been here for now? Right, okay. So, let me have another sip. Sonia says, I use your 10-minute meditation for protection. Thank you. You're very welcome. And yeah, thank you for that segue into, I have a free meditation on my website that you can download, which does help clear ground and protect your energies. So that might be very helpful to use before you do a tarot reading. You're so welcome, Julie. You're so welcome. You used to do a lot of my classes, didn't you? And so it's lovely. I'm just so glad you could be on here, because I know you've missed it. You've said to me that you've missed my classes. So that's just a basic intro. Thank you, Holly, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. It's been amazing for me. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it has. So obviously no pressure. If you have found this useful and beneficial today, I would really appreciate if you could just send some donations my way. What you can afford, no pressure whatsoever. But you know, it helps keep that energy flowing, it helps it going, and helps you know, helps balance the energy, the give and take of the universe. You're very welcome. So I'm going to draw a card for the collective. So for everyone that's here online now, for everyone that's live in this group now, I'm going to draw a card and read it for you, so you can see how you can start going through the layers of the tarot cards. Okay, so let's have a little look here. I can just hear someone coming up the stairs, so do bear with me a moment. Is everything okay? Okay. Okay. Right. Pardon? On the shelf in the bedroom. In the box. There should be. No. Okay, hang on guys, bear with me. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Family emergency. Sorry guys, I am back. We had a potty training incident downstairs, a little accident, so it's getting sorted now though. Joys of potty training, eh? Right. Oh, thank you very much. I love the butterfly cushion, Elliot said. It's lovely being here. I'm normally working and can't make it. Oh, well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it, Teresa. I'm so glad everyone's enjoying it. It's lovely to be able to do it, and especially online. You know, there's, you know, a lot of people are not able to carry on working and sharing, but I'm lucky enough to be able to do that through the wonders of modern technology, so that's something that I'm super grateful for. Okay, so back to the task at hand. Right, let me just settle back in and ground in a moment. Working with crystals and things as well can be very beneficial to help you know, raise your vibration, help you connect in. You know, creating ritual around the practice can be very good too. You know, perhaps lighting, I had an incense burning, perhaps lighting some incense, lighting a candle, doing a bit of meditation before you open up and start working with the cards. Obviously that all helps your connection, it all helps you focus and call in, you know, that spiritual energy, that high vibrational energy. So here I have a piece of Labradorite. I don't know if you can see, the light's a bit difficult, but Labradorite is one of my favourite crystals of all time, and I work with this a lot. I did have another piece here which has got moved, as I had a piece of amethyst that I tend to have around me as well when I do tarot readings and work with things like that. Okay, so just dropping into my heart centre a moment with my awareness. Right, tarot reading for the collective, everyone that is present here. And again, remember I said if any card jumps out, it's relevant. So do you guys work with crystals when you do tarot readings or oracle readings? What are your favourite crystals to work with to help with divination and communication? Okay, this one is okay. So we have got a Wands card here. We have got the 7 of Wands, which reminds me, I didn't talk about reverse cards, which is what I want to talk about in a bit. But this is the 7 of Wands. Okay, so rather than going in and looking at actually what the 7 of Wands means, which I'll come in and do after, I want to show you what I'm drawn to in the cards, okay? So the first thing that stands out to me is actually this fence that is behind this character here, okay? And to me, all these wands coming at him from different angles as well. The red stands out to me quite a lot. And what this kind of stands out to me, how this reflects to me, is like he looks like he's boxed in. He looks like he's trapped, right? Relevant for us all right now. Oh, hello, Hazel. Beautiful, beautiful Hazel. I hope you're well, my darling. Okay, so he looks like he's boxed in and trapped in. It looks like he's got things coming at him from all angles, okay? That are you know, they're coming in from everywhere, forcing him to stand guard and stand to attention, right? Relevant for us all, I can imagine. So let me know, is this relevant to you? Let me know if this is resonating. Okay, so he seems boxed in. He's got things coming at him from all different angles, but he's choosing to stand strong and stand empowered, and he's almost in like a dancing pose, like he's ready to start dancing, okay? And for me, it's like, as I can see him kind of holding himself up with this ready to start dancing, it's like he's ready to throw his passion. He's ready. Sorry, my signal went then for a moment. So he's ready to start throwing his passion into something, okay? We have black trousers and a white shirt. Instantly there, I think of the yin and yang symbol, okay, which is about balance. It's about balancing the spiritual and the physical, which is something that we all need in our lives, particularly at this time of disease and out of balance. So this is to say, you need to bring these things into balance. Your masculine and feminine, the Shakti and the Shiva, the creativity and the logical, the logistical thinking, those aspects need to be brought into balance for us all at this moment and time, and that's how we're going to get this show moving forward, okay? So the sun, I don't know if you can see, the sun is peeping out from behind a cloud here. So it's like there is light coming to shine on things. Things may be getting a bit foggy and we're not exactly clear, but we are going to get clearer about how we feel as we move forward. Because we are looking at wands, as I said, this is to do with our journey. And this fella, who I'm seeing as us, individually, his wand is a different color to all the others. See how I'm just saying what I'm seeing, what's catching my eye. Now his wand here is a different color to the others, which suggests that he's dancing to his own rhythm and he's not actually taking on board what other people are doing. That doesn't really matter to him because he's dancing his own dance. Does that make sense? Does it feel relevant to you? Do you feel that that's how you're feeling at the moment? Let me know. So he's got his dancing shoes on. He's ready to get things into balance. He's ready to start moving. And actually, what I see as I'm looking at this now, it's almost as if this wall is like a set, like a movie set, like a backdrop, and it's like it just falls over, opening up. And so this is what I was talking about turning that TV screen on in your mind. It's like the wall falls over, opening up this whole space behind him. So this feeling of being constricted and confined, it's all an illusion, okay? And it's not true at all. Actually, by giving this constriction that we've been given, is actually really liberating and freeing to allow us to do what we want to do, to focus on what we want to do, so we can dance our own dance and create what we want to create. So Delith says, like a baseball player striking back. Yes, absolutely. So are you going to grab the bat and hit a home run for yourself? You know, what are you going to create for yourself? Are you going to allow this fear and everything to wash over you, or are you going to knock that back and start working on yourself? So Sonia says, so me at the minute, I am coming into my own true being. Fantastic, beautiful, perfectly relevant. I thought he looked like a baseball player about to hit back with strength. Amazing, perfect. Remember your strength. Don't be disempowered, my friends. I feel like the fence has his back, so he can't be attacked from all angles. Perfect. Perfect. And that's the thing, there is no right or wrong with this, whatever resonates with you. You know what I always say, you know, we could all pick the same card and it can mean slightly something different for all of us, or we could all be doing the same reading for the same person with one card and all see different things, but all of it be completely relevant. There is no right or wrong. Our spirit guides, our intuition works with us all uniquely, but it doesn't, you know, it's all unique, it's all different, but it doesn't make it wrong. Okay, so the fence has got his back, so he can't be attacked from all angles. That's perfect. And by coming back in to roost, by coming back into our home space, our safe space, it allows us to create that protection and create and formulate a plan while being safe and defended. Okay, so here, what's jumping out to me now is the colours here. Okay, so, you know, we're looking at, I mean, I know it's kind of pinkies, reddies, oranges. So this is to do with our root, our solar plexus. So our root chakra, our sacral and solar plexus, sorry, you know, going from red, orange, yellow. So our root, as I said, it's all about sense of safety, sense of security, strength, strong foundations. It's helping us feel at ease where we are, knowing we are where we ought to be, knowing that we are, like I said, safe, that we are worthy of what it is that we are asking for, what we are sent out to do. But to do with safety and security and what have you. Okay, so orange is to do with our sacral, which is to do our emotions, our connections to other people. So for me, this is working on, you know, it's a time for us to work on our own emotions. It's time to work on our own healing that we need to do. So when it is time to stand up and be strong and start dancing again out in the real world, we've done all the internal clearing out. So we're going back out there stronger, more empowered, more whole, because we've healed the parts of ourselves that have needed healing. The blush of dawn, yeah, it is like a dawn. It's a new start, a new beginning. This is it's a very much a beginning of a new world, my friends. Very much beginning of a new world, the things that we're experiencing right now. So let's just see what else is coming through here for me. So let's go to the Seven of Wands, okay? And actually start looking at it now as the Seven of Wands and what that actually means. So the wands, as I said, are to do with our journey. Our journey through life, our spiritual development journey, our personal growth journey, whatever part of the journey. But the fact that it's a 7, and 7 is one of the spiritual numbers, it's aligned with our crown chakra, is our 7th chakra. So this is about our spiritual journey and our spiritual pathway, and actually how where we are now is very, very important for helping us progress with our spiritual path. Okay, and this time alone, right, funny, I brought the Hermit card out earlier. You know, the Hermit goes into isolation to develop his own spirituality, to develop his own connection to spirit, his own discernment, get away from the distractions of the outside world, to focus on his own internal world, to rid himself all of that mind chatter and that chaos and confusion, and bring things back to a simple way of being. And that's exactly what's happening here. Sonia says, I'm getting goosebumps and shivers. Fantastic. That's so wonderful. Daleth, absolutely. People are going to have to change. Less selfishness, more empathy and care. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. That's so true. So yeah. I think we've said all that needs to be said with that card. I think it's very relevant. We can all take something from that. Now, going back to a question that I was asked about reversed cards, because sometimes cards come out upside down, regardless of the way you turn them over, the way you shuffle them. You know, there's so many different factors that can contribute to which way up a card comes. But when a card is upside down, when it is drawn, it means that there are things that you're not yet aware of. There's things going on perhaps under the surface that you're not acknowledging, things that you're not doing that you ought to be doing, and sometimes it can be, you know, like a reversal of the meaning of a card. So just to be aware of that. That's something that we can touch more on in future videos, okay? So chakras made easy. What, hang on, what have I missed? Have I missed something? Oh, right, okay. So Binky says, I need and want to learn more about chakras. Can you recommend anyone to read or look into? Right, okay. So Julie says, The Complete Guide to Chakras by Ambika Waters. Fantastic. I haven't read that myself. There's a really, really, really good YouTube channel called Spirit Science. And there's a really great episode on there about the chakras. A really good place to start if you wanted a video as opposed to a book to read. Obviously, these times I don't know what's happening with post. But Spirit Science is a really, really great YouTube channel. Highly, highly recommend checking out that episode. Yeah, and you know, again, the chakras, because you know the chakras have got mind, body and spirit associations. They've got the colors as well as the emotions, that kind of stuff. So you know, each chakra has a different type of issue attached to it in terms of what causes blockages, what we need to do to release them and what have you. You know, different types of trauma are stored in different places. Different types of pain and what have you are stored in different places, so we're all out of balance for different reasons. But so just by knowing about the different things that are associated with a different chakra, so the different color comes up, so that's the kind of thing that we need to focus on, whether it's to do with worthiness or, you know, not feeling loved enough, or, you know, blue is associated with our throat chakra, so perhaps not speaking your truth, not speaking up enough, perhaps you're stifling yourself and not saying what needs to be said. So these are all different things that you can kind of work with by knowing the different colors of the different chakras. It's just a really beautiful set of symbols that can be really, really beneficial. So hey, I'm going to do another card. Why not? Why not? Do another card before we go. If you've got any more questions, guys, please chuck them in. Please chuck them in, because I want to answer as many questions as possible. Remember, this is going to be a weekly thing. And remember, if you have found this beneficial and you wanted to donate, I'm going to put the link to my PayPal in the top box if you wanted to just donate some money to my tip jar, my PayPal tip jar. That would be really appreciated. Okay, so this one is standing out to me. Okay, so we have another 7. We have another 7. We have the 7 of Pentacles here, my friends. Okay. So what's standing out to you guys? Let me know in the comments what's jumping out. Now, for me, this guy, he doesn't look very happy. He looks, it's almost as the land is shriveling, the things are dying, but there's hidden treasure. Pentacles, you know, they sometimes can be coins in other decks, right? So it's like there's hidden treasures, there's things that we're not aware of yet, there's going to be good things coming that we haven't realised are around us yet. You know, I remain hopeful. I know I keep looking for the silver linings in all of this, and there's a lot of silver linings that have not shown themselves yet. So it may look bleak, it may look difficult, but there's a lot of treasure here to be found. And you know, I'm drawn, there's green tinges here in this card, and the green is associated with healing very much, but also a heart chakra, and our heart chakra is to do with love, unconditional love, compassion, empathy. And this time in solitude and being downtrodden, as Julie has said here, being downtrodden, you know, this is going to awaken our heart chakras. It's going to awaken that compassion, that love, that empathy for everyone else around here. And it may seem cold and bleak, but there is beautiful growth at the front here. There's some plants growing, there's some new life stirring, there's some new things growing. And for me, again, the colours here, the hues here, is very much, it is almost like dawn. And it's like we don't realize how close the dawn is to this new age, this bright, exciting new time that we're entering into here. So let's see what everyone else is saying here. So he looks downtrodden. It looks like there's a weight on his shoulders. Again, another lone warrior, but he's oppressed in a barren land. Angel wings. It does look like angel wings, streaking across the sky. So we are where we are for a reason. Angels have got us, my friends. He does look a bit lost. But also, if you look closely, he looks almost like a gymnast who's about to kind of take a leap. Like the way he's standing, his posture, he looks like he's getting ready to leap again. Like this guy's about ready to start dancing. He's getting poised and ready to start jumping. That's what it looks like to me. He looks worn out. The place is barren and dead, but if you look hard, you will find abundance. It is coming. The seeds are being replanted. Yes, absolutely. What does Elliot say? Elliot, he has everything he needs in his hands. He's walking from the dark and into the light and better times. Wonderful. Like he's been drowned and coming out of a pond dripping with worry and pain. There looks like light coming through the dark. Absolutely. I agree with all of that. Absolutely all of that. Okay, so now actually what I'm seeing in the distance there, I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to get it to focus. It looks as if there's like a lake or a sea or an ocean behind him. Now water is often symbolic of our emotions, okay? And so the fact that there's like a sea or an ocean, it's like he's been through a very emotional time. He's cried a river, he's cried an ocean, okay? This very emotional time is behind him, and he's walking forward now into more, these like sandy beaches that he's walking away from into fertile soil here. And it's as though, and in my mind's eye now, it's like the more he moves forward, the more greenery, the more life, the more vegetation and everything is coming like up ahead of him here. So he's moving from that to the foreground here. Okay, so it's going to be a better time. We're moving into a better time, folks. Although it seems barren, it seems bleak, and we can't see the better time yet. It's coming. It's there for us all, okay? Dallas says, almost like the fairy folk from Llyn Van Fach. I'll take your word for that. But he does look, to me, he does look like a gymnast who's about to start prancing about, coming through. Predictive text is fun, isn't it? Okay, so, and you can't really see his face, so you can't really see his facial expression. Almost like he's very much, although his body's in the light, his face is in the shadow. I don't know if I can get it to focus. No, I can't get it to focus on it, but his face is very much in shadow, which means, having a few negative thoughts, but the light's coming in, and there's definitely some things growing out in front here. A lot to look forward to, my friends. A lot of things to look forward to. Dal says, I'll send you the story, you'll love it. It's about the mother of the physicians of my Welsh pronunciation. Craig would shout at me for this. Mawddwy, is it? Mawddwy? Let me know. My Welsh pronunciation is improving, though. Can I just say, I'm learning, especially having this homeschooling period, because my son's in Welsh school, so doing Welsh work with him, reading Welsh stories and stuff. My Welsh is improving, so yay. Don't apologise. It's oh, good. That makes me feel good. So yeah, so I hope everyone's enjoyed that. I hope everyone's enjoyed this session. I really, really have. As I said, I could talk about tarot all day, every day, and never get bored. So I hope I've given you all something that you can go away and work with, that you can practice. And yeah, any more questions? Any more questions before we go? Anything that stands out to you here that I haven't mentioned? So the fact that we've got 7, again, going back to the 7 is a spiritual number. 7 is a very spiritual number, and so this is to do with the spiritual unfoldment of what's going on. Pentacles are to do with the physical world, okay, and wealth, but not necessarily financial wealth. So there's things that are going to be coming to all of us, improvements happening for all of us that we are going to really, really benefit from. And actually, if you are worrying financially, if you are worrying about material finances and what you're going to do, there's things that you're not aware of yet that are going to be coming to your assistance. And just trust, because it's a 7, trust in spirit to support you, hold you, keep you safe. If you do start to fill up with worry, if you start to fill up with this fear and despair, call your spirit team in to help hold you, to help lift you, to help eradicate this fear, okay? And you know, going back to that heart center, the colours of the heart center and the solar plexus, you know, breathe into this space to help center you and find calm, so those hormones that come in with the anxiety and the stress don't flood your body to keep you trapped in that vibration of fear and anxiety, okay? I hope that makes sense. But spirit have got you, friends. There's a cleansing and a clearing happening here, so remember just to call on spirit when you need them to help you with your worries, all right? The items in his hands. Elliot says, I spotted the items in his hands stood out to you. Yes, Pentacles again. So he's holding on tightly to things. So not all is not lost. So Julie said, I've loved this session, thank you. Daya said, thank you, lots of love. Sonia says, I loved it, thank you, beautiful, much love. Looks like nunchucks. If you think it looks like nunchucks, then prepared for battles, my friend. Prepare to use all the skills you've learned to help you through this difficult time. Using nunchucks is a skill that takes a lot of practice, so things you've been practicing will be very, very helpful right now, okay? I'm so glad you've loved this session. I've loved every minute of it. If you guys have drawn a card or wanted to instantly start practicing what you've done, draw a card if you haven't already, take a photo of it, share it in the comments, okay? And then what we can all do is we can jump in and comment what stands out to us, what we think is happening in each other's cards. And what we'll do, don't fill up the thread, but you know how now when you post something you can reply to comments in like a sub thread? What I want you to do is when someone's posted a picture, have a little look, see what stands out to you, and reply to that comment and send them a few words of wisdom on what you think is standing out for you. I will come in and help. If you are going to post a picture, I want you to make sure that you are commenting at least on 2 or 3 other people's, because I want there to be to give and take. If everyone just posted a picture and didn't read anybody else's, there'd be no one doing readings for other people. But I know this is a very lovely group of people that, you know, you wouldn't do that anyway, that, you know, you're willing to give and you want the practice. So the more you do, the better you're going to get at it. And I'm happy to answer questions at any time. Michelle says, also the trees or weeds are behind him, like withered away, like he is coming through. Yes, absolutely. So there has been a time of difficulty behind him where things have withered, but he's starting to grow now because there are plants growing in the foreground. There's new life, a new zest of life, a new lease of life in his life. And I think a few of you I know this is relevant to, myself included. Thank you so much, Holly, and all that you shared with us. Huge love and light to you all. I just picked a 7. What 7 did you pick, Daleth? What 7 did you pick? I love that. You can't make this up. There's no such thing as coincidences, my friends. All very relevant. What did you pick, Daleth? Awesome session, Holly. Have to shoot, but we'll do readings later for people's cards. I'll have a go at them all. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you, Elliot. So much love, Elliot, my darling. Thank you for being here. Stay safe. Stay safe. Fire. So fire is, gosh, if I remember what fire is to do with, what's fire to do with? Gosh, I can't believe it. I've gone blank. Wands, I think. Me too, Seven of Swords. So we've got all of them. We've got all of them. Fantastic. No, we haven't got all of them because we haven't got cups. No worries. Wands, yes, wands. I thought so. Trying to remember so although I've used this deck with you guys today, the deck that I normally use, which is over here, it really shows you the elements in the cards. So, what I mean, let me see if I can. So yeah, you see, this is the Ace of Wands from the deck that I normally use for all my readings. You probably recognise them from my readings of the week, or if you've had reading from me before, and you can see there's fire in this card. So they do have the colours. The one I was thinking of, actually, if I can find it. Yeah, there's wands again. Fire in the foreground. That's the Knight of Wands. Yeah, that's the one. King of Wands is the one I was thinking of, with the fire in the foreground. See, so there we go. So yes, that's it. And I've just had a warning that my battery's running out, so perfect timing, really. I don't want to I could stay around all day, and I'd love to, but I won't take too long to say goodbye. So I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who stuck around to watch this video. Thank you everyone who's catching the replay. Good luck with your tarot reading. Any questions in between now and next week, stick them in the comments, but I'm going to try and do this every Tuesday. Thursdays, I am going to be doing my soul-centered meditation classes online in my soul-centered meditation group. So if you're not in my soul-centered meditation group already and you would like to join in every Thursday morning, do let me know, and I will put a link in here to take you over to that group. Normally in that group it's just people in the local area, because it is a group for supporting those who do actually come to my physical classes at Dawn's Healing Light Crystal Shop, but obviously that's closed for now. So if you're interested in doing some soul-centered meditation every Thursday morning with us, that's over in my other group. Also, my friends, which I can't believe I haven't mentioned it, is the new moon today, and the new moon is all about setting intentions and planting seeds, and what better way of doing that than starting my online workshops with you here today on the new moon. So it's a really great time for cultivating new habits, setting intentions, planting seeds, focusing on optimism and what you want to draw towards yourself and to cultivate over the coming moon cycle. Now, with that being said, I am actually, so a month from today, 4 weeks from today, the next new moon that we have, I'm going to be launching an online membership service for people who want to start working with the energies of the moon to help them on their life's journey, helping them to focus on what they want to cultivate in their life, and with the new moon, and then working with the full moon energy to release what no longer serves them, to let go of what they need to leave behind them, and to work with different rituals, different habits that they can begin, different ways of connecting with your spirituality and harnessing that beautiful energy of the moon goddess to help propel you forward and catapult you forward on your life's pathway. So that's going to be launching the next new moon. There's going to be an introductory price of £5 for your very first month. They will be going up then to $11.11 every month, but the first month is £5. I'm not sure what that is in dollars. I know I've got some American people in this group, so we can work out the conversion. There's going to be workbooks, there's going to be rituals done together. I'm going to be doing live streams where I pull cards for everybody to help them find out what they need to focus on, what they need to let go of. It's going to be really, really beautiful. So if anyone is interested in that, do let me know. I'm working like anything to get all the workbooks and everything put together, ready to launch on the next new moon. So talking about this now to set my intention to get that set up, and I would really love for you to come and join that beautiful group. So more about that to come. I'm going to try and come in here at least every other day to do lives for you guys to help support you through this strange time that we find ourselves in. So if you need a friend, if you need someone who is also spiritual to talk to. If you're at home with muggles during this time of isolation, then we're here for you, my friends. We have a beautiful community growing and cultivating here. If you're enjoying the abundance challenge, you know, you're in the final week, well done, my friends, for sticking with it. If you haven't stuck with it, don't beat yourself up. Just do what you can. It's all going to be helpful. Just be kind and compassionate and gentle with yourselves, my friends. And I look forward to connecting with you all again soon. So much love and light. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.